Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Visit Chicago Southland's 2024 Annual Meeting and Awards Luncheon. I am Richard Brink. I am the chairman of the board, and on behalf of all of the board members and the entire team at the Bureau, I want to welcome everybody. We're delighted to have you here today. We've got a great program, a wonderful speaker, and it's going to be a great time with the awards as well. At this point, I would like to introduce, originally we were going to have the president of Orland Hills here to talk, but he's dealing with what's going on down in Florida. So instead, we have his son, who's Senator Michael Hastings. I would like to introduce Senator Michael Hastings at this time.
Let's give it up for Richard, an excellent chairman of the Chicago Southland. But good afternoon. My name is State Senator Mike Hastings. I proudly represent 218,000 people, the south suburbs. So if you live between Lockport all the way down to Joliet, all the way east to Matson and Markham, I'm your senator whether you like it or not, as I say. But it's always an honor to come together as a community to reflect on the progress we made and then the bright future that we have ahead. I want to start by extending a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Jim Garrett for his outstanding service and dedication to our communities. Let's give Jim a round of applause. Jim's leadership has truly made a lasting impact on our community, but I want to welcome his successor, Mary Patchen. Let's give her a round of applause. Mary has worked for the Southland for 25 years, and she told me she was 29, so that's a wonderful start. We're excited to see the fresh ideas and energy that Mary will bring to our communities and continue the good work already in motion. So on behalf of my father, who sends his regards, he has another elected position where he does not get paid for. I mean, not that Orland Hills pays anything more than $100 a meeting anyways, but he's the HOA president of our condo association in Florida, and they're about to get smacked by a hurricane. But I want to really just say that our region is truly a great place to live and work and to raise a family. We've made incredible strides over the past few years. Currently, we're remediating and demolishing the Tinley Park Mental Health Center. And if you guys are to drive through that and drive by that in the next week, you'll see the remediation is actively being taken place in a very secure way with air quality and water quality monitoring that protects our residents. We have a state-of-the-art sports parks coming to New Lenox, and we got ongoing infrastructure improvement projects in Madison, like the beautification project that was announced yesterday. These projects are already making a real difference for both residents and businesses alike. And with your continued collaboration and commitment, our area will continue to thrive. By staying positive and working together, we'll continue to build the kinds of communities we can all be proud of. And thank you. I look forward to another great year of progress and partnership. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Wonderful words. Our theme for the annual luncheon is changing the odds, playing a new hand. And what a fitting theme with the new casino opening up and with the change in leadership from Jim Garrett to Mary. And I want to, again, as the senator did, recognize Jim Garrett, who retired in June. And after 28 years at the Bureau, Jim is currently in Indonesia right now because he wanted to get as far away from the hurricane as possible and visit his son who's there. So as we just did with the senator, let's give Jim Garrett another hand. During his tenure, he was instrumental in growing the scope and scale of Visit Chicago Southland's reach and staff. He was involved in tourism-related development projects. He was very involved in the 2003 U.S. Open, the SeatGeek Stadium, the brand expansion at the Chicago Southland Lincoln Oasis, and with their new exhibits. If you haven't seen it, it's now open. Please stop by there and check it out. It's quite incredible. And now, at this point, very pleased and honored to introduce a 25-year veteran at the Southland. And I find that hard to believe, too. Apparently, she was hired as a fetus, some type of new experiment they were doing at the time. But very excited to introduce our new CEO, Mary Patchen.
Good afternoon. I'm a little shorter here. Good afternoon. Thank you, Richard, and thank you all for being here. Your involvement and support of the tourism industry and Visit Chicago Southland is greatly valued. Please enjoy your salad while we continue our program. But I want to begin today's program by thanking our platinum sponsors, La Banque Hotel, Ravenslow Country Club, and Old National Bank, our silver sponsors, Governor State University, and Wind Creek Chicago Southland, and our bronze sponsors, ComEd and Prairie State College. These sponsors' commitment to Visit Chicago Southland's mission is immense. And I would also like to thank our Chicago Southland legislators, commissioners, and elected officials for their support of Visit Chicago Southland and the hospitality industry. Please stand to be recognized. And again, thank you for your continued partnership. Would all of our elected officials and representatives here please stand? We would like to recognize you officially. Thank you. And to celebrate the achievements of fiscal year 24, we've put together a highlight video. Please enjoy. Since becoming president and CEO on day one of our new fiscal year, I have received congratulations from many of you in this room. Your kind words have touched me and has strengthened my sense of responsibility in this role. Drawing on my 25 years at Visit Chicago Southland, starting at the age of 4, and my passion for promoting this region, I commit to doing everything possible to meet and exceed our strategic sales and marketing goals. Our 2024 theme, Changing the Odds, Playing a New Hand, is not intended to cast light on me, but on the changing tourism industry and how it pertains to the Chicago Southland communities and businesses. As travel interests and options change, we need to adapt as well. Today, we'll show you some of our current and new tourism programs that are assisting us with this change. First, we would like to recognize Jim Garrett, who led Visit Chicago Southland for 28 years through its many changes and accomplishments. Jim has been a true champion for tourism in the Chicago Southland region and its communities. Jim is unable to join us today, but if you know Jim, he would not go quietly. So thankfully, he recorded his message. Enjoy.
Thank you, Mary, and good afternoon to you all. I was unable to join you today, but I want to thank you for the incredible support you provided to the Convention and Visitors Bureau over these many, many years. We've certainly accomplished a lot in job growth, expanding development in all of our municipalities, and I also want to thank our municipalities, our mayors, our legislators, our hospitality partners who have worked so hard to make our area a better place to live, work, and do business. This has all come about because of regional cooperation, and that's probably one of the most important things that we can focus on. I would also like to thank our Executive Committee and Board of Directors for the incredible support they've given to me and the trust they placed in me in leading the Bureau over these many, many years. I also want to thank an incredible staff, an incredible, dedicated group of individuals that stay center-focused on our mission and make so many things happen for our area. Special thanks to Mary Patchen, the new President and CEO. She is going to do an incredible job, and she will bring the Bureau to a new level, and I hope you will support Mary as you have supported me in the past. I also want to thank my beautiful wife, Peggy. She is the rock of my life. The last 20 years have been the best years of my life, and it's the best job I've ever had. Retirement for me is just the beginning, and in 2 words, I simply want to say to you all, thank you sincerely, and continue to keep reaching.
And since Jim will be spending more time with his family and grandkids, we have a final video highlighting him and his family from an April appearance on NBC Milwaukee's Morning Blend, where he talked about gramping and shared a weekend trip itinerary with local activities perfect for grandparents and grandkids. Check out his exciting adventures around the Chicago Southland.
And welcome back. Well, today it's a new term that we had not heard of before, and I love it. It is called gramping. It is the perfect 3-day itinerary for grandparents and children to better connect at locations that cater to both their interests.
Yeah, joining us now is Jim Garrett. He has 7 grandchildren. He is also the president and CEO of Chicago Southland. It's an exceptional destination for events and leisure where you don't get buried in Chicago's congestion, which is great.
Amen.
It's wonderful to see.
We're basically the grandparents get together with the grandkids.
Yeah.
Parents, stay away.
Why you think people should visit?
Well, it's a great area. We're south of Chicago, 60 municipalities, 400 square miles of things to see and do. It's a great getaway from Chicago. We love Chicago. It's fun, but come out and stay with us.
Yeah.
Affordable hotel rates.
High five, Jim.
All
Love
right.
it. And it's so close. I mean, it's like in our backyard.
Time to rock, guys.
Time to
Absolutely.
rock. I love it.
Jim, what a great idea. And gramping is our new favorite word.
Everybody from Milwaukee, they need to come in Chicago South and bring their grandkids, have a great experience.
Oh, they're going to love it.
And keeping with the theme of change, I hope you've already noticed the frequent mentions of our new official name, Visit Chicago Southland. We are no longer the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau. This change to Visit Chicago Southland is like other tourism bureaus across America, being more simplified and direct to our mission. One of our biggest achievements this last year has been receiving the highest level of recognition from Destinations International, earning the Destination Marketing Accreditation Program designation with distinction. This prestigious accreditation is awarded to only a small number of convention and visitor bureaus worldwide and signifies exceptional performance in over 100 industry and aspirational standards. This honor highlights the remarkable dedication and hard work of the Visit Chicago Southland team. In fiscal year 24, our sales team made great strides in promoting the region. They attended 18 national trade shows focused on meetings, group tours, and sports, which allowed valuable networking and showcasing of our hospitality partners. They conducted 488 appointments and engaged with potential planners, resulting in 259 new clients that would bring a variety of events to the Chicago Southland. These efforts are essential for enhancing the region's visibility, attracting new group business, and supporting local economic growth. Those efforts, along with other sales initiatives, resulted in $4.5 million economic impact for book groups here in the Chicago Southland region. And in terms of hotel occupancy, we remain in fiscal 24 among the top of Chicago area CVBs with an average of 64.1% occupancy and 1.8 million hotel room nights sold. And Visit Chicago Southland's media output was its highest in history with 2.17 billion impressions via our public relations, direct advertising, and social media outreach. Fiscal year 24, our website had over 332,000 unique visitors from 200 countries and all 50 states. Our social media channels totaled just under 18 million impressions. And in terms of media, we secured 119 media placements, achieving an estimated reach of over 2 billion, resulting in an advertising value of $20 million. Our website, visitchicagosouthland.com, a vital resource for community leaders, residents, and visitors alike, has had a successful year as well, winning the Illinois Excellence in Tourism Award for Best Website at the Governor's Conference on Tourism. Key features included AI accessibility tools, a trip planning interface, interactive videos, 360-degree tours, mobile responsiveness, and user-generated content. And since March, we've also added an AI search feature. On May 23rd, celebrating National Travel and Tourism Week, we held the 2024 National Tourism Day Celebration and Hospitality Showcase at the Orland Park Civic Center. It was the first of its kind for us in terms of scale, and it was a success. With over 60 Chicago Southland hospitality partners participating, the turnout and energy was inspiring. The change continues with our new leisure campaign, Where Boring Doesn't Exist. The campaign has been integrated into our media mix. Here's one of our 30-second spots.
I gotta tell you about our weekend. We were bored, so we drove to Chicago Southland, just 30 minutes south of Chicago. Amazing. All these great little towns with art galleries, theater, live music. Dave loved all the craft breweries. And the food? To die for. Seafood, steaks, Mexican. We ate like movie stars. Oh, and the shopping. Malls, specialty shops, antiques. I mean, if you're bored, you gotta go. I'm serious.
At last year's annual meeting, we unveiled a rewards program titled Passports to the Southland in partnership with Banwango Mobile Passports and with funding from Cook County's Tourism Alive program. Passports to the Southland encourages users to visit Chicago Southland local businesses. This summer, the final passport was released, totaling 8 passports in all, including Tee It Up for golfers, Savor the Southland for foodies, Artistic Sites of the Southland for art lovers, The Curtain Call for theatergoers, Suds and Buds for beer connoisseurs, Disc Golf Pro Pass for avid disc golfers, and to represent Chicago's trademark fare, the Pizza and Hot Diggity Dog Passes. And I am absolutely thrilled to share some exciting news with you today. This summer, we opened our largest project yet, the Visit Chicago Southland Visitor Information Center, located at the Chicago Southland Lincoln Oasis in South Holland, which is strategically positioned within one of America's most prominent oases, making it a prime destination for visitors. As you step inside the oasis, you'll immediately notice how expansive and interactive the center is. We've designed it to showcase the hospitality amenities that the Chicago Southland has to offer. Some highlights include a stunning 360-degree display of key regional landmarks, interactive touchscreens loaded with information about the Chicago Southland, an information desk manned by our dedicated visitor information specialist, a wide selection of literature for our visitors to explore, and QR codes to provide instant access to area information. We are incredibly excited to bring this innovative information center to the Chicago Southland. And mark your calendars. On November 7th, we will be hosting our grand opening and ribbon cutting for the new VIC. And we rolled out the first phase of the Visit Chicago Southland signage program available to funding hotel communities. The 3D letter sign has emerged as the most popular choice, allowing communities to strategically place these mobile signs at events and landmarks for visitors and residents to use as photo backdrops. Each sign is indicative to a community's character and charm, and we feel will remain as visual icons for continued community pride. And with our marketing and public relation efforts came a variety of exposure to Chicago Southland partners such as Moni's own Crow's Head Cooperage, earning Illinois Made status, and our 2023 Member of the Year Award recipient, the Windy City Thunderbolts, for winning the Sports Destination Management Award for Champions of Economic Impact in Sports Tourism, thanks to a large part in hosting the 2023 Frontier League All-Star Game and related events. and always dedicated to providing valuable resources for both travelers and residents, we've created a new animated educational video aimed at encouraging visitors and groups from beyond our borders to explore our region and utilize our resources. Let's watch it together now.
Welcome to Chicago Southland, where boring doesn't exist. Just 30 minutes beyond Chicago's city limits, you'll find the affordability and accessibility you're looking for in a destination. The Chicago Southland, home to the south and southwest suburbs of the city, where Midwestern hospitality means more than simple politeness. The Chicago Southland is a destination within driving distance, bursting with so many ways to have fun. Whether it's golfing, shopping, live music, family fun, sports, or dining, you're going to be constantly smiling and planning your next visit in no time. Meeting and event planners can find an array of facilities ranging from 700 to 25,000 square feet. Sports planners can find indoor and outdoor venues accommodating over 45 sports. Group leaders can choose from 21 Chicago Southland itineraries or create their own. And reunion planners will love the outdoor spaces, perfect for the next family gathering. It's no challenge to find somewhere to stay in the Chicago Southland. There are over 5,800 hotel rooms in more than 65 hotels, including major chains like Hilton, Holiday Inn, Hyatt Place, Marriott, and others. The Chicago Southland offers excellent accessibility via Interstates 55, 57, 80, 94, 294, and 355, and great air access to both Midway Airport and O'Hare International Airports. In addition, we offer great public transportation options both around the Chicago Southland region and to and from downtown Chicago. In fact, the Chicago Southland is just a 5-hour drive from 8 states, making the region a convenient destination for visitors and event attendees. Visit Chicago Southland is a complimentary resource to visitors and groups. Our sales team prides itself on personalized service by helping groups plan events and offering a wide variety of complimentary services. From brochure distribution, event listings, signage, itinerary planning, and marketing services to current financial incentives and a grant program, Visit Chicago Southland can handle it all. Visit Chicago Southland is also a one-stop resource offering visitors comprehensive travel inspiration through our website, apps, rewards, programs, social media channels, and guides. So, whether you're planning a group event or a getaway, discover all Chicago Southland has to offer today. Visit Chicago Southland, where boring doesn't exist.
The Chicago Southland has and will welcome hotels in Bedford Park, Calumet City, Lansing, Matheson, Oak Forest, Orland Park, and Peatone. And that does not include the upcoming Wind Creek Chicago Southland opening in East Hazel Crest and Homewood soon. Our 2023 Municipal Leader of the Year, the Village of Bedford Park, and its Wintrust Sports Complex have kept momentum, as in August it was announced that the WNBA's local team, the Chicago Sky, will be building their official practice facility, aptly named Skytown, adjacent to the Wintrust Sports Complex in time for the 2025 WNBA season. Lastly, I would like to recognize our board of directors for their commitment not only to the Chicago Southland tourism industry, but to our organization and mission as well, and to our team. I couldn't do any of this without them. I want to extend my heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you. Your dedication and hard work have been instrumental in our successes. I am incredibly grateful to each of you for your passion and dedication, and thank you all for what you do for the Chicago Southland. And to our keynote speaker for today, Bill Geist, Chief Instigator of DMO Pros, thank you sincerely for being here. We anticipate your presentation shortly, but at this time, enjoy lunch, and we will resume in approximately 15 minutes with our keynote presentation and awards program. And I would like to introduce Bill Geist, who is our keynote speaker, and our keynote speaker is presented by Wind Creek Chicago Southland. Now, on behalf of Visit Chicago Southland, I am pleased to welcome today's keynote speaker, Bill Geist. Bill's title is a unique one, officially Chief Instigator at DMO Pros, Pros with a Z. DMO Pros is a firm specializing in strategic planning, governance, destination development, and legislative issues for all destination marketing and management organizations, such as convention and visitors bureaus, tourism-focused chambers of commerces, economic development organizations, and communities. Bill is the author of Destination Leadership and is a contributor to Fundamentals in Destination Marketing. He has consulted over 200 destination marketing organizations since 1995, including us, Visit Chicago Southland, and presents across the U.S. about trends in marketing and destination development. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Bill Geist.
Thank you. It's good to be back in the Southland. Thank you for the invitation. And I also want to thank you for your ongoing and future support of Visit Chicago Southland and your support of the tourism industry in this region. Now, when someone says the tourism industry in this region, most of us understand what we're talking about. Most of them do not. So shall we say maybe it's not tourists, maybe it's visitors. I think we can all agree that there are visitors to Chicago Southland. They may not be touring in the traditional sense, but I gotta tell you, when I lived in Illinois, was a tourist in the Southland. I was a visitor. I spent a lot of time and a lot of my disposable income in the Southland when I was in my 20s. My favorite pizza place was in Stager. Best music club was in Linwood. Shopped at Lincoln and Orland all the time because I'm from Kankakee. Hey. No, you come by it honestly, because honestly, in the last century, which makes me sound really old, but in the last century, Kankakee County had really hit bottom. I mean, they were struggling. They were gonna come out of it, but man, it was tough. There wasn't a lot to do. So that's why I was always up here, always, because this is where it was happening for me. And I even got a part-time job one Christmas season at the Lincoln Mall. I loved it up here. And for both Kankakee County, which the unofficial slogan back then was, it's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there. I mean, I am proud to say that my hometown has come back, and it continues to come back. And boy, coming back here after all these years is just such a treat to see how you're evolving as well. So this was one of the bars I was at a lot when I had a lot more hair. Does anybody remember the name of the bar that had a canoe hanging from the ceiling with Budweiser stickers all over it? It may not be there anymore, and I'm sure my favorite pizza place in Stager is no longer. Damn, I was young. Anyway, here's the deal. Interesting new research has shown, and this is Richard Florida. If you don't know Richard Florida, he was the guy behind the book, I think 12 years ago now, called Rise of the Creative Class, which really changed the way we think about economic development and community development. He's done a new research project with a couple other research firms that indicates that 60% of downtown economic activity is done by visitors. Again, out there, they're going to think that most of the economy here is driven by residents, and that is not the case. That is why destination marketing is such a crucial part of our success as a region, our quality of life as a place. So in our world, I got into this business right at the beginning when destination marketing organizations started to happen here in Illinois in the late 80s. Yeah, wow, long time ago. And back then, it was really clear what our job was. Our jobs was heads in beds, right? Fill those hotel rooms. About 15 years ago, actually 15 years ago this year, one of the thought leaders in our industry got up in front of our International Association trade meeting, and she said these words. This is Maura Gast.
If we build a place where people want to visit, we will build a place where people want to live. And if we build a place where people want to live, we will build a place where people want to work. And if we build a place where people want to work, we will build a place where business has to be. And if we build a place where business has to be, we'll be back to building a place that people have to visit. It all starts with a visit, And that visit doesn't happen without us.
It all starts with the visit. Think about that. Truer words have never been spoken because most people, almost all people, do not move to a place unless they visited it first and fallen in love with it. And how does that happen? Well, it happens when they respond to a destination marketing campaign that says, hey, there's this great place called Southland, you check it out. And no matter what their preconceived notions were, they come for the festival or for the beer trail or for whatever it is, gramping, whatever they come for, and they go, wow, I had no idea. Everything starts with the visit. So about 5 years later, after Maura uttered these words, one of the most respected research firms in the tourism and travel space, Longwoods International, decided to test out the theory. So this is a massive study. 18,000 people took part in the study, so statistically, it's absolutely dead on. To get into the survey, you had to admit that you had never visited one of the 10 states they were going to ask you about. Okay, so with that as the underlie, no experience with states like Wisconsin, Michigan. Illinois was not one of the states that was surveyed. And they asked people questions. And the chart you're going to see is only going to have 4 of the states, but trust me, the results were the same, all 10 states. So they asked the question, do you think this would be a good place to live? So I today am a Scotty, so we'll go with Wisconsin. 30% of Americans, sight unseen, say Wisconsin sounds like a good place to live. That's great. Yeah, that means 70% of America doesn't think that Wisconsin would be a good place to live. That's not so good. Showed them a 30-second tourism ad of all of these states. And 10 to 15% increase in likability based on a 30-second tourism spot. They then asked the question, do you think it'd be a good place to go to school? Look at North Dakota, right? Yeah, then they showed them that Josh Duhamel ad, goes to 28. Again, 10 to 15% increase in likability and interest based on a 30-second tourism spot. And this is the one that changed everything for all of us in the community development field. And that is, do you strongly agree this would be a good place to start a business? Fairly unimpressive numbers, wouldn't you say? Showed them the 30-second tourism ad, and boom shakalaka, 10 to 15%. They went back the following year to the same database, and they asked, did you visit any of the states we asked you about? If you said yes, you moved on to the next round, and they asked again. Having gone, having experienced the place, now what do you think? 10 to 15% increase again. So a 30-second tourism ad has the ability to inspire a visit that causes somebody to be 30% more likely to want to live somewhere, go to school somewhere, or start a business somewhere. That's why we coined the phrase tourism is the first date for economic development. And the more we've thought about it since that time, we think, no, actually, it's the first date for all community development. To get somebody to visit a community, as Maura said, it all starts with the visit. So that really changed what destination marketing organizations were about. And it doesn't mean that hotel stays isn't a huge part of what we do, because we know that when people stay in hotels, they spend typically 3 times as much in the community. And isn't that the bottom line? To get them to spend money. I had a dear friend that used to run the Seattle Convention Center in Washington State. And he said, our job is to invite people to town, pick their pockets, and send them home with a smile. So they tell all their friends what a wonderful time they had. Again, a circular move. So we have to stop saying heads and beds. I know it's cute, I know it's easy, and what we do in destination marketing is hard to explain to people who don't live in our world. But it's not the prime directive, right? Because it's also cheeks and seats, right? Oh, it gets worse. It's also torsos through turnstiles, right? It's feet on the streets. It's fans in the stands. And it's more in the store. That's the quality of life that we want and get through a robust visitor economy. Now, the problem is marketing also, to a lot of people, is very misunderstood. You know, the experts will tell you that in a recession or when business is down, that's the last thing you need to cut is marketing, right? Though many of you are business people in this audience, you know that that's when you don't cut marketing. But it's, especially for destination marketing organizations, it can be easy because the money that we are powered on, for the most part, comes from tax revenue. And our communities, many of you represent those communities, never been tougher to run a budget of a municipality, of a town, of a county, and I get it. But because it's so easy to cut or divert those funds, there's a new kind of conversation that's going on out there, and it's called community shared values. And let me explain what that means. We as a people have never been more divided in our generation. Can we all agree with that as we approach the presidential election? Never in history, our history, have we been so divided. But guess what? There's a lot of things we agree on. We're just never reminded of that because it's no good for the media. They just want to keep driving the wedge. We all agree on clean water. We all agree on good education. We all agree on police, fire, security, first responders. We all agree on so many things. Shouldn't we also agree that destination marketing is vital to the future of our communities? Because the work that Visit Chicago Southland does helps create the revenues that pay for the things we all agree on. We really have an amazing impact that I don't think is fully realized yet in this region, in this state, or in the country. But we're getting there. People are beginning to realize more and more that this isn't just about heads in beds. So who benefits? I mean, I think this is the message we need to take out to those out there that may not understand why this is so important. And almost every single person in this region benefits in some way by the visitor economy. Your agricultural interests, farmers, they benefit because of the trend to farm-to-table restaurants, the new interest in culinary. They also, of course, sell to our grocery stores, where if you're going to be in an Airbnb or a VRBO, you're going to hit the grocery store, so that's a tourism expense. Grocery stores don't understand how, well, in some places they don't understand. I got to tell you, there's a funny story from the Fort Walton Beach area. One of the first real condo kind of destinations, and so the condos there are getting a little long in the tooth. And what they found a couple of years ago was that because there are nicer condos to be had down there, so the owners of the older condos are dropping their rates. So now people with less money can get in for the week, they can afford it, but that's all the money they have. That means they can't afford white tablecloth restaurants. Fort Walton Beach lost like 5 white tablecloth restaurants a couple of years ago, right before the recession or the pandemic. And all the numbers were even. Occupancy even, average daily rate was even, everything was even. Grocery store sales up 60%. It depends on the client, depends on where you are. And so, the tourism industry is killing it down there. It's just a different kind of killing it. So clearly, agricultural interests, very, very important. Retail, 60% of all the sales coming from visitors. And even from the visitors and the retailers that you wouldn't think of. The woman second from left is Marta Land. She is the florist in a small town in Oklahoma, Shawnee, Oklahoma. The city council was thinking about cutting the CVB's budget in Shawnee a number of years ago. And as you can imagine, there's a line of people to testify. Hoteliers were opposed, restaurateurs were opposed. The Chamber of Commerce was opposed. I mean, it's just a line of people who were opposed to that. And City Council wasn't really paying attention because they knew what they were going to say, right? Until Marta stood up. And they all just looked up and, Marta, what are you doing here? She said, if it wasn't for the CVB and it wasn't for the convention center, which I have the contract for all of their floral arrangements for all of the events, I'd be out of business. And the council realized this isn't about hotels and restaurants, which they marginally care about. It's about real people with real, self-owned, independent businesses. And the people who work there, people who put their entire life savings into a business that if visitation slows or stops, they're out of business. Council took the measure off the table, never to return, because they finally got that it wasn't just the fat cats in the hotels. It was real people on Main Street in Shawnee. It's also dry cleaners. I mean, you don't think of dry cleaners being in the visitor economy, but who does those tablecloths? Who does the uniforms for the concierge? Dry cleaners have a big role in tourism. Construction and transportation, we're constantly building, we're constantly transporting. That's a part of the visitor economy. Higher education is part of the visitor economy, especially as a number of our colleges today are struggling with enrollment and interest in enrollment, making sure that the community is one that the parents are thinking, that'd be a great place for my kid to go to school. We have a role in helping higher education with their enrollment issues. Clearly, realtors, somebody falls in love with the Southland, they're going to want to buy. Realtors benefit from the work that we do. Car dealers benefit from the work that we do. It's a great story from Arlington, Texas, where the mayor there a number of years ago was also the owner of one of the bigger car dealerships in town. And when the DMO went to see if the car dealership would take out a membership with the organization, he said, I've never sold a car to a tourist. Why would I do that? And then the person who was making the pitch laid a picture of 3 of the biggest parking lots in Arlington, Texas. They were the employee lots. And he said, how do you think the people who work at the ballpark, at the aquarium, and at Six Flags get to work? Walk. The mayor was very quick to sign that check because he realized a lot of those cars were sold and serviced at his dealership. Think about banks and utilities. They are an absolute beneficiary of what we do. So is healthcare. You've got a great destination. It's a lot easier to attract top talent to your destination, to your community. You want the best medical care possible? It's going to be tough to do in a community that doesn't have a good reputation. And reputation is a lot of what Visit Chicago Southland does. And finally, it's the personal side, right? This is a friend of mine. Greg will tell you, if he was here, that when he was 18, he was probably 2 weeks away from going to jail. He was just about to do something stupid enough that would get him tossed in the can. And he, at the last minute, probably to buy something he shouldn't be buying, he got a job washing dishes. Well, today, 18, 19 years later, he is the head of a 17-restaurant group in Madison, Wisconsin called Food Fight. I love the name. 17 different restaurants within the Food Fight family. Executive vice president. From a guy who will admit he was on the wrong road at the wrong time and it was not going well. All of that combined is why what we do, both at your destination marketing organization and most of you in this room, why it is so important. Because reputation is everything. Just look at what's happened to Springfield, Ohio. Their bureau is working feverishly to try to spin that unfortunate attack. And I'm not standing here saying it's true or not true. I'm just saying it's in the public consciousness, and it will be forever. Gary, Indiana, murder capital of America in 1976. People still think it is. It's not. I have friends in Gary. Yeah, there's some places you don't want to go at night, but not a lot of it. I mean, Gary too, coming back. So anyway, my point is, Other people in this community have jobs because your destination marketing organization is doing theirs. And just one last thing before I go, and again, thank you for the invitation. It's one thing for Mary to tell you about what we call DMAP, the Destination Marketing Accreditation Program. I serve on the board of trustees of the foundation at Destinations International that manages this program. I can tell you, there are, by our count, roughly 4,000 destination marketing organizations in the world. 220 of the 4,000 have earned accreditation. 20 have earned accreditation with distinction. Yeah. I say that to say you are in really great hands. This is an exciting time for the organization. Jim has been wonderful. Jim has been never wavering on that vision. But now it's time for that new hand, right? Now is the time to really invest and say, let's go. Let's take this to the next level, because everything is in front of you if you recognize the power of visitors as a vehicle to enhance the quality of life of the entire Southland. So once again, thank you so much. All the best for a great 2025, and we look forward to continuing to work with you in the years ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, for joining us today at Visit Chicago Southland's annual meeting. Your perspective is greatly appreciated. And while we're in the spirit of giving thanks, I want to again thank our platinum sponsors, Le Banque Hotel, Ravenslow Country Club, and Old National Bank. Our silver sponsors, Governor State University and Wind Creek Chicago Southland, also our keynote speaker sponsor. And bronze sponsors, ComEd and Prairie State College. And as we celebrate hospitality, let's recognize our gracious hosts this afternoon. Please join me in thanking the entire staff of Giorgio's Banquets Quality Inn and Suites Conference Center here in Orland Hills. All right, we have reached the final portion of the Chicago Southland Stars of the Industry and Visit Chicago Southland Annual Tourism Awards. The Chicago Southland Stars of the Industry Awards are presented by Le Banque Hotel and Ravenslow Country Club, and I would like our executive committee to join me on stage for the photo opportunities. Up first is our Administrative Employee of the Year Award. This year's winner has been an invaluable resource for her colleagues, guests, and clients. Since joining the hotel at its opening in 2019, she has mastered every role and always puts her team and community first, ready to lend a helping hand wherever needed. Please join me in congratulating the 2024 Administrative Employee of the Year, Jeanette Lopez, Sales Manager with the Hampton Inn and Suites in Bridgeview. Let's serve up our next award, the Food and Beverage Employee of the Year. This year's winner is a banquet server with over 20 years of experience who is consistently requested by returning clients. He is cherished for his meticulous attention to detail in serving guests and groups, and his leadership and communication skills earn him high praise from his colleagues. The 2024 Food and Beverage Employee of the Year is Saul Vila, banquet server for the DoubleTree by Hilton Chicago also. Our next recognition is for the Guest Services Employee of the Year. This year's recipient is a Generation Z member who has been a tremendous asset to guests of a certain age, thanks to her patience and technical skills. Her maturity, professionalism, and experience far exceed her years, and she is always ready to assist any department in need. And she just started college on a full scholarship. The 2024 Guest Services Employee of the Year is Colleen Flaherty, front desk agent for the Quality Inn and Suites here in Orland Hills. Our next award is the Housekeeping Employee of the Year. This year's winner is recognized for her warm greetings and cheerful smile towards guests. Over her 13 years with the company, she has progressed from room attendant to inspector to supervisor. Her leadership and dedication to our housekeeping team have fostered an exceptional culture of hospitality. The 2024 Hospitality Employee of the Year is Leticia Benuelos, housekeeping supervisor at the Homewood Suites by Hilton Orland Park. Next, we want to recognize our Maintenance Employee of the Year. The 2024 recipient has been managing 2 property renovations while successfully handling daily challenges to ensure the hotel runs smoothly. His work ethic is unmatched, often putting in extra days and hours to keep operations on track. He is the cornerstone of support for every employee. The 2024 Maintenance Employee of the Year is Gerardo Tamores from the Comfort Suites and Sleep Inn in Lansing. And our next award is the Manager of the Year. This year's Manager of the Year is the spirit of her hotel. She's known for an above and beyond approach, from tracking down a checked out guest at an airport to return a left behind passport, to altering wedding dresses for day of brides, to finding Gladys Knight an emergency dentist. Nothing slips past and through the cracks during banquet events because of her. The 2024 Manager of the Year is Caitlin Maxwell, Area Director of Catering for the Marriott Chicago Midway Airport in Bedford Park. Congratulations to our Stars of the Industry Award winners. We now shift to the Chicago Southland Annual Tourism Awards presented by Old National Bank. The Award of Merit is for extraordinary service and partnership in support of the tourism industry and Visit Chicago Southland. This year, the Award of Merit goes to a vibrant community whose initiatives are extensive, inclusive, and diverse, including their 2024 Pride Fest, Juneteenth Parade, Modernism Road Rally, Illinois Philharmonic Orchestra Nights, and the Hidden Gem Half Marathon. Also, their downtown hosts Illinois' original microbrewery and a wide array of small businesses. Please welcome our newest Award of Merit winner, the Village of Flossmoor. Accepting the award is Mayor Michelle Nelson. Our next Chicago Southland Annual Tourism Award is the Spirit of Hospitality, which honors the person or group that best demonstrates exceptional dedication and commitment to enhancing the travel and tourism experience for both visitors and residents to the Chicago Southland. This year's recipient is respected by so many in the region. As general manager, they kept their facility afloat through the COVID-19 pandemic. Throughout their tenure, the venue has established itself as a top destination for sports by hosting numerous tournaments and events. Additionally, they have actively supported local sports development by organizing a wide range of sports camps. Please join me in congratulating our 2024 Spirit of Hospitality Award winner, the General Manager of the Southland Center in Linwood, Annie Byrne. The Municipal Leader of the Year Award recognizes exceptional vision and contributions to the Chicago Southland's tourism and hospitality industry. In the past year, this community completed a major renovation of its outdoor concert center, attracting renowned entertainers and enhancing its profile with residents and visitors alike. Additionally, the village expanded their hotel accommodations, retail and restaurant experiences, as well as redeveloped their park facilities, all adding to their hospitality amenities. They also hosted Visit Chicago Southland's 2024 National Tourism Day Celebration and Hospitality Showcase, highlighting its commitment to local tourism. These significant initiatives have rightfully earned Orland Park the title of 2024 Municipal Leader of the Year. Accepting the award is Mayor Keith Pekow. Our second to last award is the Senator Aldo DeAngelis Leadership Award. Its namesake, Senator Aldo DeAngelis, was instrumental in creating Visit Chicago Southland. Without the late senator and his drive to solidify a tourism bureau in the Chicago Southland region, we may not be here right now. Winners of the Senator Aldo DeAngelis Leadership Award carry the senator's spirit in advocating for the health and growth of Visit Chicago Southland and the region's hospitality and tourism industry. This year's winner couldn't be any closer to our cause. Their leadership as a general manager at their hotel and with Visit Chicago Southland, combined with his refreshing sense of humor, has brought a sense of stability, reassurance, and lightheartedness to everyone he works with. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Senator Aldo DeAngelis Leadership Award winner is Visit Chicago Southland Board Chairman and General Manager of the DoubleTree by Hilton Chicago, Alsop Richard Brink.
That was surprising.
It's never meant to be known. Sorry. And now for our final Chicago Southland Annual Tourism Award for 2024 Member of the Year. This award is presented to a member for outstanding contributions and service to Visit Chicago Southland and to the hospitality industry. This year's winner has been our longtime partner and is a staple attraction in the Chicago Southland. Its festival, running for 35 years and counting, welcomes over 20,000 people annually. Known for its versatility of space for hosting weddings, expos, dinner theater, concerts, and sporting events. We are proud to present the 2024 Member of the Year to Chicago Gaelic Park. Accepting the award is General Manager Michael Bennett. We would also like to extend our congratulations to Village of Matheson President Chalmers Curran on her election as the first Vice President of the Illinois Municipal League. Congratulations, President Chalmers Curran. And again, I would like to thank today's platinum sponsors, LeBlanc Hotel, Ravenslow Country Club, and Old National Bank. Silver sponsors, Governor State University and Wind Creek Chicago Southland. Bronze sponsors, ComEd and Prairie State College. And I'd especially like to say thank you to our executive committee for being in the award photos today. And before we conclude, on behalf of the Visit Chicago Southland Board of Directors and staff, we want to thank you for your partnership. As we all navigate by changing the odds and playing new hands, we are truly grateful to be together at the same table. You all play a very critical role in the Chicago Southland tourism industry, so thank you again for your support. To obtain a copy of our fiscal year 24 annual report, you can grab one from the table out in front, or you can download it using the QR code in your program. Also, to all of our award winners today, congratulations, but don't leave. Come up for a group photo, please don't leave. Please now come to the stage for a group photo, and that concludes our Visit Chicago Southland's 2024 annual meeting and awards luncheon. Have a great rest of your week.